Hey there YouTube, what's up? It is Zach Jewel here, and today I'm going to do a video that was a very special request for a very, very special person, my fiance, and she knows who she is, and I'm sure she'll see this video when she wakes up in the morning. But, anyway, sorry my contacts are bothering me, but yeah, okay. So what this video is going to be about is relationships, and how to get through problems, and how to keep each other happy and fulfill your needs. First of all, something that everybody has got to understand is when you first get into a new relationship, it is always lovey-dovey, sweet, everything seems perfect. But when that relationship starts to change, usually within a couple months, it starts to change. And that's when you both got to change together. And if you can get past that couple months part and still keep each other really happy, then you're on a good roll. Well, let's just say me and mine have been together for a really long time. I'm personally not going to say how long because it's not what the video is about. It ain't about me, it's about you. Me and her already do all this stuff I'm going to go over. And yeah, I hope you like all the skateboard designs. I did that when I was like 14. It's been a long time ago. But yeah. So, anyway, first step to keep a relationship happy is when that relationship begins to change, both people start acting a little different. You start to really get to know them a lot more, who they really are, not just this lovey sweet person all the time. They actually start to reveal how they are all the time, and you start to notice, well, it's not always lovey dovey sweet things. That's the first thing you got to understand. Is you can't always be lovey dovey or all up on each other, or you can't even be constantly around each other after a while. And it's not bad, it just means that people need their own space. And you don't want to always be lovey-dovey anyway, because you don't ever grow together, really. I mean, yeah, you grow to some extent. You always feel, eventually it just gets to the point, if you're constantly doing it, where it don't mean as much anymore as it used to. So that's why it's important, step one, to have space. Now, space is a big important thing about a relationship. Because first of all, if you're constantly around them, it'll get to a point where everything that you've done, they were there with you. So there's nothing to really talk about, nothing to tell or that happened, no stories to share. And then it gets to the point where you start to argue because you're always around each other. And it'll get to a point where you start arguing over the stupidest stuff, like arguing over something stupid, like if they haven't texted you in a certain amount of time. That's something really stupid. Or if something really dumb, like that ain't even important at all, period, like disagreeing on something that's going on in the world. And it'll get so serious, the argument, to where you just want to be away from each other for a little while. And that happens because you don't have nothing to talk about. And me and my fiance, we have space now. We solved this issue. We have plenty of space now. We always have stuff to talk about, and we're always in a good mood, always happy. We don't really ever fight anymore like we used to, because we're not constantly around each other. Now, when you get married, that's a different story. But even when you're married, you're not always around them. You're not always in the same room as them. You're not always beside them on the couch. You still go and do your own thing. You're just married and they live with you. So you still have things to talk about. Space is really important. And that space as far as personal space around each other. Now, with texting and talking on the phone, you do need a certain extent of space too, or you start short answering each other, and nobody likes that. So what you need to do with that is text as much as you want, but the second you want to go do something that you just really truly can't text while you do, and focus or something, like for example, I like to go fishing. I can't really text while I fish because I'm always looking at my phone. I gotta pay attention to my reel, or it's out there and I'm just like, okay, I got a big ass fish on the hook, and I got a text message too. Oh, the bite got away. It's something like that. Or, even something simple like playing a video game. You can't constantly pause the game and text them back, and then unpause it and play it, and then pause the game, 5 minutes later, text them back. You gotta, when you're doing something personal on your own time like that, it's not really a good idea to text, because then you're just sidetracked in so many levels. Like you're texting them, and then at the same time you're playing the game or you're fishing. But I mean, if you're just laying upstairs and you're watching TV, then yeah, I mean, you can watch TV and text, because you can watch TV and be like, oh, I like the show. Text your fiance or girlfriend or boyfriend back and be like, okay, hey, that works. I mean, you can text them. It works. It's fine. And then if you're just laying in bed in the morning, or if you're just even walking, sitting out downstairs, you're going and doing something outside that you don't really need complete attention to, then you can text. But when it's something that you absolutely have to have attention to, you don't need to stop doing something that you. If you can't do it at the same time you text, it's hard to do it, then you don't need to text or you don't need to do it. One or the other, you're going to pick. That's another thing. But texting ain't as big as an issue anyway at all. I love texting my fiance. I love it. And I do it with a lot of things. I mean, the only time I really don't is when I go fishing. But I really can't then, like I said earlier. But texting ain't a big problem. It's mostly just space around them too much or something like that. You just need that space. You need that time to where you're away from each other a little bit, and then they do their own thing, you do your own thing, and then that's fine. And usually that fixes a lot of things anyway. But then the next level, which goes from space, is trust. Now, trust is easily ruined and easily violated and really hard to earn back. But here's the thing. If somebody messes up in a relationship that violates your trust, no matter what it is at all, and it's important to forgive them. If you truly love them, you need to forgive them. I mean, you don't have to trust them right away. It's hard to do that. But you gotta forgive them. And if you truly love them, you will forgive them, and you will still be with them, and you will work on gaining that trust back. But they've got to help you do that too. You've got to be willing to trust again, but they've got to be willing to show you that you can. And you just got to fight. It's going to be a lot of heartaches, a lot of problems from trust if you don't trust each other. But you've got to work through it together. And then once you work through it together, then everything's okay usually. I mean, usually everything's fine after that. So, yeah, space and trust. That's another thing. I mean, space and trust are two major ones, and they kind of tie into each other. Because if you don't trust them, you always want to be around them. And if you always want to be around them, then that's being clingy, and that's the next thing. Clinginess. Clinginess can be anything. I've always wanted to hang out with them, to always want to hug on them or kiss them or whatever you do to be clingy, or always want to be something to do with them. You can't ever do anything on your own time, because you want them around so much, or you want to be around them so much. And usually clingy people will have a history of emotional problems. For example, that's kind of personal too, but I mean, I might as well just go ahead and say I got emotional issues because I've had a bad history with other girls in my past who I'm just completely don't even give a crap about no more. But still. But then when I met my fiance, now we got together. I mean, her fell in love, and I don't even care about them no more. And I know she's not like them, so she don't do this stuff to me that they did. So that's helped me out a lot, because I know she don't. Because she's there for me, and I'm there for her. So the trust is there. The clinginess we had a problem with when I had a trust problem. But I trust her, and I'm not clingy to her anymore. And, I mean, we have space. We have plenty of space too now. And everything's good. And another thing that you need to notice is communication. Now, communication is the key to solving all these previous problems. Because if you are really you communicate about everything, you tell each other everything, and you're completely honest about everything, then you take out all the other problems. It's just like that. You really do. Trust, you got to talk it out. You got to work through it. You got to work together. That's communication. Being clingy, you got to talk it out. You got to work together instead of 50-50 that works both for both of y'all. How much you're around them or how much you're all up on them. You got to work that out. That's communication. Space, you got to know how much time they need to their self, how much you need to yourself. That's communication. I mean, it's really as simple as that. Arguing is usually only caused when you're around each other too much. Or sometimes you don't have to be around them a lot, and you'll get a little angry at them if you're having a bad day or something. But same thing with arguing. The best thing to do when you argue, it depends what type of person you are. There's people that want to keep arguing. There's people that want to work it out right then on the spot. And there's people that just want to go away until they calm down. Now, for example, my fiance is the type of person that if we get in an argument, she gets really mad and would just don't want nothing to do with me until she calms down. Me, on the other hand, I'm wanting to work things out right then on the spot, so I keep talking to her and it just pushes her off more. So I've learned to just when we do get in an argument, as hard as it is and it hurts me so bad to do this, but it's for me, but it's the best thing to do is I've got to leave her alone until she calms down. It's so hard and it hurts because I'm always wanting to be right there for her every minute of every day through anything she wants and needs. And I always will do that, and she knows that. But that's just how I am. I just want to be right there and work things out right away. And she likes to just get her own space to cool off and then come back and talk it out later. So you got to find out how they are, and after a few arguments, you'll understand the type of person they are. If they're the type of person that wants to be left alone, just leave them alone and then talk it out later. Even if you're the type of person that wants to work it out right there, or if you're the dickish type person that wants to keep fighting, same thing still. You need to leave them alone. Grow up, basically. Now, on the other hand, if they're the person that wants to keep on, and you just need time to yourself, you need to let them know you just need time to yourself. Try not to say it in a mean way. Try not to call them annoying, or just another example. Try not to say, "Oh, you always do this." Let's just try not to. You gotta try not to keep arguing. You just gotta let them know, please leave me alone until I calm down. That's all I want. And then and if they won't, just turn your phone off until you calm down and then come back. It's really nothing is really as serious as some people make it. And trust me, I know how some people are in relationships. But communication fixes all the problems. It really does. And just knowing you can talk anything out together, work through it, and then learning as you grow together. That's what love's about. There's ups and downs, there's heartaches, and there's sorrow, there's happiness, and there's fuzzy feelings. There's all that crap. All that good stuff. And the crap is the bad stuff. The good stuff is the fuzzy feelings, happiness. The crap is all the bad things that happen in relationships you've got to work through, but you still got to work through it. And when you work through it, you will. You'll get it solved. And growing together, that's true love. You got to grow together. You got to learn new things, take on new challenges together, overcome new stuff. That's all there is to it. It's really a lot simpler than it sounds, but easier said than done, right? When you're on the spot, you don't know what to do at the time, but you just got to remember this stuff. It's really the only way. But yeah, I hope you like the video. I hope I help people out. This stuff works. You should give it a shot. You just need to be more open with them. And if you need any advice or any questions, please comment below, and I'll happily try to help you or make a new video. Well, not YouTube.